Hi children, this is your political science class. Today we are discussing the third chapter, why do we need a parliament? Why do we need a parliament? In the first lesson we are studied about the Indian Constitution. First lesson we have studied about the Indian Constitution. In that chapter we discussed the key features of Indian Constitution. Are you remember? Key features of Indian Constitution. So first one was federalism, means there is two types of government in our country, that is state government and central government. Federalism we are also discussing that chapter. Second one was parliamentary form of government, because India was a democracy and all the adults who have the right to vote. So India was a parliamentary form of government. And third one was separation of power. The power was separated in three classes. Executive, judiciary and legislature. And fourth one was fundamental rights. Fundamental rights you will already study in the lower classes. 6 fundamental rights. And fifth one was secularism. We also discussed what is secularism in the second chapter. So in this lesson we are discussing about parliamentary form of government. Parliamentary form of government. This feature is discussing in this lesson, and our chapter name is why do we need a parliament? What's the need of a parliament? So we can start the lesson. Why do we need a parliament? We know India got independence after a long struggle with the Britishers, and they attained the freedom in 1947. So before that the Britishers formed law for India in a parliament, but there is no Indians were allowed in this parliament. So it's a parliament is a body, and the Britishers not allowed any Indian to participate in the parliament to make laws and decisions for India. ഇന്ത്യക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നിയമങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുമ്പോഴും ഇന്ത്യയുടെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചർച്ച ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും അവിടെ ഇന്ത്യക്കാരില്ലാതെയായിരുന്നു ആര് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്? The Britishers discussed or they take decisions and make law according to their concept. No Indians were allowed in their parliament. So in 1885 the Indian National Congress in 1885 demanded some elected representatives in the parliament. So they demanded some elected Indian representatives in the parliament to take decisions about or to make law about India. So in 1885 they demanded some elected, very few, to the parliament to discuss ask questions and to discuss in budget ഒക്കെ നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ബഡ്ജറ്റ് ഒക്കെ അവതരിപ്പിക്കുന്ന പാർലമെൻറ്റിൽ. സോ ഈ പാർലമെൻറ്റിൽ ബഡ്ജറ്റ് അവതരിപ്പിക്കാനും ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ചോദിക്കാനുമുള്ള സ്ഥലങ്ങളിൽ ഇന്ത്യക്ക് കുറച്ച് റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവ്സിനെ വേണമെന്ന് Indian National Congress demanded in 1885. But it was take a long time. In 1909 1885 demand ചെയ്തെങ്കിലും they are not ready to allow any Indians to the parliament. In 1909 Government of India Act എന്നൊരു നിയമം പാസ്സാക്കി. Government of India Act passed in 1909 allowed for some elected representation of Indians. അപ്പം 1885 the National Congress demanded some elected representatives in the parliament, but the Britishers allowed this in the Act of Government of India Act of 1909 to allowed them some Indians to this parliament. So after independence, so the Indians know the importance of the role of people in the parliament. So they were very aware of the importance of the representation or the representation of people in the parliament. അതുകൊണ്ട് ജനങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേഷൻ എന്തായിരിക്കണം. They have a clear idea about the parliamentary system of government and the representation of the people in the parliament. അപ്പോൾ after independence Indians were starting making constitution for India, so they clearly mention how the parliamentary system of government were going on and what is the role of the people in this parliament. So we can you take your textbook and page number 32, people and their representatives. So after independence, in constitution the state were divided into numerous constituencies and members were elected from these constituencies to the parliament. So we can study what is people and their representatives. The take-off point for the democracy is the idea of constant and a desire, approval and participation of people. It is a decision of people that creates a democratic government and decided about their function. It is the decision of a people that creates a democratic government. ജനങ്ങളുടെ തീരുമാനമാണ് എന്തുണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്, ഒരു ഡെമോക്രാറ്റിക് ഗവൺമെൻറ് ആൻഡ് ഡിസൈഡ്സ് അബൌട്ട് ഇറ്റ്സ് ഫങ്ഷൻസ്. ദ ബേസിക് ഐഡിയ ഇൻ ദിസ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ഡെമോക്രസി ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് the individual or citizens is the most important person and that in principle the governments as well as other public institutions need to have the trust of these citizens. So in a democratic form of government the people were the most important important persons or the citizens are the most important one in a democratic type of government. How does the individual give approval to the government? One way of doing so, as you read, is through elections. അപ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു ഡെമോക്രാറ്റിക് കൺട്രിയിൽ ഇൻഡിവിജ്വലിൻ്റെ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേഷൻ ഉറപ്പാക്കുന്നത്? ത്രൂ ഇലക്ഷൻസ്. പീപ്പിൾ വുഡ് ഇലക്ട് ദ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവ് ടു ദ പാർലമെൻറ്റ്. അവർക്ക് the Indians have the right, or the adults in the Indians have the right to elect the representative to the parliament. Then one group from among these elected representatives form the government. അപ്പോൾ ഈ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവ്സ് ഒക്കെ ആരായിരിക്കും? ഒരു പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പാർട്ടിയുടെ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവ് ആയിരിക്കും. ഒരു പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പാർട്ടീനെ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് നിൽക്കുന്ന ഇൻഡിവിജ്വൽസ് ആയിരിക്കും. സോ വി ആർ ഇലക്ടിങ് അവർ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവ് ടു ദ പാർലമെൻറ്റ്. If they got majority, that political party got majority seats in parliament, they form the government. The parliament, which is made up of all representatives together, control and guides the government. And other representatives also have their own role, that is they are controlling and guiding the government. In this sense, people through their chosen representative form the government and also control it. So how the people, the common people represent or they are എങ്ങനെയാണ് അവർ interfere, how they interfere in the government? They electing the representative. അവരുടെ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവിനെ, അവർക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവിനെ ഇലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. So they are interfere or they taking a job in a democratic country or a parliamentary form of government. So our parliament consists of president, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabhayum Lok Sabhayum പ്രസിഡന്റും ചേർന്നതാണെന്ത് നമ്മുടെ പാർലമെൻറ്റ്. The Parliament of India is consist of President, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. അപ്പോൾ how they government form how they people form a government അത് നോക്കാം നമുക്ക്. What is Parliament? Parliament is consist of President, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Here we can divide the Parliament into Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. You can see in your television that the Lok Sabha is doing their works. Lok Sabha, how many members are there? There are 543 members, elected members. 543 elected members in the Lok Sabha. How many members? 543 elected members. From where they are electing? They are electing from the constituencies. Our India or our country is divided into numerous constituencies. You can see in the page number 41, there is a map there, the constituencies. These are the constituencies of India. India's constituencies. India was divided into numerous constituencies, and the pink or the shade was general seats, and the blue shaded parts were reserved for the SC. SC means scheduled caste, and green shaded were reserved for scheduled tribes. So there are numerous 543 constituencies in India, and so they are elected from these constituencies. From the constituencies, plus 2 Anglo-Indians are there. Plus 2 Anglo-Indians. Who is Anglo-Indians? Well, Anglo-Indians. Anganuru religion, anganuru group of people are living in India. So we are giving representation from the Anglo-Indians. So they have 2 of them from the Anglo-Indians. And these 543 elected members were known as MPs. They are known as MPs. What is the full form of MP? Member of Parliament. Member of Parliament. So in our Lok Sabha there are 543 elected members plus 2 Anglo-Indians, and these elected people were known as MPs or Member of Parliament. And who make the government? These 543 members are the representatives of so many political parties in India. So who have 272 members? ആർക്കാണോ 272 members? Which political party gained 272 members in Lok Sabha? Form a government or more. 272 or more. 272 സീറ്റോ അതിന് മുകളിലോ ഉള്ളവരാണ് എന്തുണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്? ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്. What is Rajya Sabha? In Rajya Sabha there are 233 elected members. There are 233 elected members and 12 were nominated by President. So there are 245 members in Rajya Sabha. So we can study what is the role of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in the next class. Thank you.